Years ago, they had remote control cockroaches, robo-rats with microchips. Yes, we know about that. The issue is the public doesn't, and they would deny it. I talked about this stuff 12 years ago. They called me a kook. I was reading Army documents. They now are admitting they have all of this. They now are pushing it on the public and telling everybody that the military is going to be getting it, prisoners are going to be getting it. So this is the control system. And the new cashless society worldwide, the new world currency will be biometrics. We'll be right back with the Bermy broadcast.
Joshua, Dammy, and Tamara in a moment. But out of the gates, I want to play this 2004 microchip clip where really the late, who is it? It's got to be Peter Jennings, right? The late Peter Jennings goes into it, and they show clips of movies, and but now it's a reality, and all these Mexicans are taking it for national security purposes. But it's good. It's a good idea. Go ahead, hit the clip.
This evening, technology on the cutting edge. We were interested today to hear that more than 100 law enforcement officials in Mexico are having microchips implanted in their arms. The chips allow a person to be scanned, sort of like a cereal box at the supermarket checkout. In Mexico, this will be one more tool in the fight against crime. Here's ABC's John McKenzie.
You've seen it before, right out of Hollywood.
It's maybe a little uncomfortable.
A microchip inside the body. A hidden, high-tech identification tag.
They have the access codes to your drop spot.
Now, Mexico's Attorney General and 160 of his deputies have had microchips implanted in their arms to control access to the country's new Criminal Investigation Center. It is to provide access, said the Attorney General, to the right people in exclusive areas where there is valuable, sensitive information. The microchip, the size of a grain of rice, is injected under the skin and gives off a low-frequency radio wave. A scanner reads each chip's identification number to verify an official's security clearance.
The microchip is tamper-proof, it's secure, no one can take your microchip and use it to their advantage to gain access to your facility.
The chip, developed by Applied Digital Solutions, is similar to those used in the U.S. to identify and return runaway dogs. In humans, it can have several uses.
Little stick.
The chips can also be programmed to carry medical information. The one in this patient details his blood type, allergies, and the fact he has Alzheimer's disease. The device is now awaiting approval from the Food and Drug Administration. Some researchers are developing microchips for use in the home so that wearing one can turn on lights and open doors. Hands-free. The next step, say researchers, is developing an implantable chip with a global positioning system to track people miles away, whether kidnapped or lost, just as cars can now be traced. A kind of LoJack for the body. John McKenzie, ABC News, New York.
Well, there it is, folks. I mean, you're going to tell me the chip isn't real? Are you going to tell me that the microchip just doesn't exist? That Verichip doesn't want to put one in every single human being? And they're going to do so through security. They're going to do so. They're going to say, oh, it's going to help you. It's going to be your passport. It's going to be the new monetary system. Everybody's going to have one, but they're going to get people acclimated to it through entertainment, more than likely a video game system. People in the military who have to take it. It'll become second nature. It'll be no big deal. All right, let's go to Joshua in New York. You're on the air.
How you doing?
Good, man.
Hello, how you doing?
Good.
Basically, I know some friend of mine that he's part of the military. He's been in the military about 20 years, and he has told me that they're already putting chips in people's hands and knees. So if they put chips to military people, they're already putting chips to prisoners.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what? One of the stories we did cover, I think it was about 3 weeks ago, was them openly talking about putting GPS devices, tracking devices, leg lock devices on. I think it was people out on probation. They weren't even under house arrest, and they want to do this with criminals. So it wouldn't surprise me if this has made its way into the military already covertly. But, I'd need some documentation to talk about it on the air. I thank you for the call. Let's go to Demi in Canada. Demi, you're on the air.
Hi.
Yes,
hey,
Demi.
Hey, how are you doing? I'm just wondering because the body is an electric system, right? And couldn't the microchip affect the way the body acts if someone wanted to turn it on or off or change the
Yes.
frequency of it?
Listen, they like Joan said before the break, they have openly radio-controlled rats and other small animals through chips, through electronic pulse devices. So could they do that with a human being? Absolutely, if they put a chip in your body and it was the right kind. This one right here, man, I'm telling you, all right, for instance, the one they're developing, VeriChip and receptors to develop sensor systems to detect biological threats. It's development with partners at Receptors, a technology company whose Affinity by Design chemistry platform can be applied to the development of selective binding products, announced plans to develop surveillance and point-of-care sensor systems that will detect and identify the presence of a particular biological threat, such as an influenza virus, methicillin-resistant, Staphylococcus aureus, and other illnesses. The company's published a white paper outlining the development of an integrated sensor system for the detection of bio-threats from pandemics, emerging diseases, to bioterrorism. See, what'll probably happen is they'll put this chip in you to put off like a false flag saying, oh, you're going to get this influenza. Oh, it's bad for everybody. Now take the vaccine. But on top of that, yeah, they could, if they get chips inside of you, who knows what they can do, especially when they're talking about cyanide chips with GPS that they can unleash the cyanide at any point to kill you. Complete insanity. Go
because
ahead.
it all ties into the eugenics operations that they want to do.
That is correct. It does tie directly into eugenics. I thank you for the call to me. Let's go to Tamara in Illinois. Tamara, you're on the line.
Hi, Jason. Thanks, man, for taking my call. I've been a fan of yours for a while.
Oh, thank you.
I'm calling to see if you could maybe give me some advice. I'm trying to work on kind of a newsletter, like a news bulletin, coming from the DHS right-wing extremism report. I've got it formatted, and it looks pretty awesome, I think. I'm just trying to fill in the gaps now with maybe bill numbers going back to the Patriot Act. I'm not really schooled on the Patriot Act. This is the specifics with the articles and the titles and the sections. And
sure. Well, if you type in Patriot Act and